Good morning students. Today we are going to learn chapter number 1, the crystalline state from solid state physics course. The solid state physics is basically the study of the rigid matter or solid with the knowledge of quantum mechanics, crystallography, electromagnetism, metallurgy and many more subjects. So today's lecture will comprises of why should we study SSP, introduction about SSP, then crystalline and amorphous material, lattice, basis, primitive and non-primitive unit cell. For the selection of specific material for application like transistor, ICs, solar cell, LED, LCDs and different material for selection of insulation, we should know what are different physical properties like thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity, refractive index or mechanical strain with different parameter. So therefore, for that selection of material, that study can be analyzed with the help of solid state physics. So it has the great significance. For the study of solid state physics, this SSP has to be indispensable even in the case of research as well. In 1940s, DSSP or Division of Solid State Physics has been formed in American physical societies. This DSSP was devoted for the industrial physicist and research on solid. They came together and they formed the applications of SSP. So basically it includes large scale applications or large scale properties of solid material. It focuses on properties of solid with crystal lattice. Solid matter in solids have definite shape, size and volume. This is not happening in the case of liquids, gaseous. Some properties are distinguishable. Those properties like interparticle forces are strong, interparticle space or void is minimum, density is high and all the solids are incompressible. As a result of these distinguishable properties, they are having different behavior. So therefore, in order to study the solid, we should know the crystalline and amorphous material. The crystalline material means constituent particles like atoms, molecules are arranged in a definite way or definite geometry. They are having the sharp melting point and different physical properties are different in different direction. Like refractive index along x-axis, along y-axis may be different. And examples of those are NaCl and quartz. Like the crystalline, the amorphous material are having no orderly arrangement of the constituent particles. They are having no sharp melting point or they liquefies under long range of temperature. For the case of their different physical properties, those are independent on direction. And some examples of them are plastic, rubber. In order to understand the crystalline material, we should know the position or how the arrangement of atom in the given crystalline material is. So, the lattice playing the important role for that understanding purpose. So, lattice is regular arrangement of infinite imaginary points in space with each point having identical surrounding. Or in another fashion, we can say regular arrangement of constituent particles in 3 dimensions. All the lattice are having the periodic or regular arrangement of infinite imaginary points in space. Along with the lattice, there are the properties which are like it is imaginary concept. So even if lattice is imaginary concept, still it is very essential in order to understand the position, the location of the atoms, ions or molecules in a given crystalline material. The material or the ideal crystalline material are having the periodic arrangement of atom in all three dimension or direction. So therefore, for understanding purposes, we are imagining that there are points in a space, and about that point our atoms or molecules are located. Similarly, these lattices are giving us the framework with reference to the crystal structure can be described. So in another words, one can say that it gives us like a scale. It plays the role of the scale for measurement of position of atoms, ions or molecules. For the real position of atoms, those are said to be as basis or motif. Crystal structure is formed by associating every lattice point, a unit or a assembly of atoms or molecules, and identical in composition. So, as I told you that in case of lattice, those are the points. So, when we attach some atom or group of atom with respect to the lattice point, then it forms the crystal. Basis is unit or assembly of atom or molecule. It is the real concept. And therefore, in another words, we can say that it is atom or a group of atoms which is periodically repeated. As an example or for clarification, you can see the diagram in left hand side, that is regular arrangement of the black dots. We call that as a lattice. They are continuing over here in two dimension, along x-axis, along y-axis over here. Similarly, the middle diagram represent two different atoms. That collection of atoms, we call it as a basis. And finally, lattice plus basis gives us the crystal structure. Now, this right hand side diagram will clarify this concept. The black dot that you can see in this right hand side diagram is having the black dot as well as the atoms too. So therefore, the unit of black plus atoms is nothing but the crystal, and with the help of the black dot or lattice, the description or the study of atoms can be done. Their position can be known. The structural unit of a crystal is called as basis because these atoms is located around each and every black dot in all three dimensions. When basis is attached to every point of lattice, then crystal is formed. In order to understand crystal, the translational vectors are playing a key role over here. For understanding purpose, we have drawn a lattice in two dimensions only. Let us say that distance between two consecutive atoms along x-axis is having length as a, and along b or along y-axis it is b. Now if we repeat these a and b in any three dimension, then we are getting the square array. So therefore, A and B, we call them as a fundamental translational vector. I am repeating, when A and B are repeated or translated in two dimension, then we can generate the square array. So therefore, A and B are called to be as fundamental translational vectors. So let us clarify what is this translational vector. For the same, we have shown the diagram again. We are having the array of black dots or points over here. At the same time, we have selected our origin at O, which is lattice point, and we are having 2 points P and Q, which is depicted in this figure. In order to understand the position of P and position of Q with the help of A and B now. For the position of A, you will able to understand that along x-axis, that is along OA, we have to travel the distance A units or 1 into A units. While along y-axis, we have to move in the 2 step. So therefore, P can be described, or a position of P can be described as 1A plus 2B. Similarly, for the case of Q, in order to understand that position, we have to go 2 steps below along y-axis and 1 step left hand side along the x-axis. But both are having negative sign. So over here, in order to understand the position of P and Q, we should have some vector, and we have drawn that vector as T is equal to N1A plus N2B. So these N1 and N2 can be integer. So over here, P is having N1, N2 are positive, while Q, they will be negative. So for P, as I told you, this T can be represented as A plus 2B, because N1 is 1 and N2 is 2 over here. And for Q, N1 is minus 1 because it is going towards minus axis. Similarly, N2 is also minus 2. So T will be A or minus of A minus of 2B. All the lattice point apart from Q and P, they can be obtained with respect to origin O by the translational operation. Similarly, we can select from any non-lattice point. So therefore, we can say that if we are selecting any point like Y, if you see the diagram, then you... So here we have selected point X, which is non-lattice point, as well as Y, which is non-lattice point over here. So, for the description of X and Y with respect to origin O, we can obtain their position as R bar and R bar dash. But in order to obtain position of Y with respect to O, we should have some vector. And X and Y are related with respect to some vector, and we have shown that vector as a T bar. And therefore, in short, we can write over here, that is R dash will equal to R plus T, where T is translational vector, or the vector which is moving from one point to another point. So R we kept it as it is, and T that we have selected in earlier case, we have written that T as A plus 2B, where T is A plus 2B over here. So over here, with the help of fundamental translational vector, we can describe the whole array of given lattice. But those fundamental translational vector are not unique. We can select them as we wish. Like in this diagram, you will see that we have selected our A and B in a different manner. We have shown them even in a other manner as well. So A and B, or a fundamental translational vector, are chosen in a different way as it is possible. So over here we can say that the primitive translational vectors are there, in which N1 and N2 are integers, while in the case of non-primitive translational vector, N1 and N2 are non-integral coefficient. Like the translational vector, even unit cell is there. So initially, let us try to have some knowledge about unit cell. So unit cell is the smallest 3-dimension unit which can form the crystal after repetition or translation. Over here, the black dot represents the lattice point, and we have drawn or we have joined the labels in such a way that they are forming some parallelepiped. And therefore, this is also one of the unit cell for the array or the crystalline material. Similarly, if we are having other way, then we can have their arrangement which is forming the other types of parallelogram as well. So from that you can say that we can have the unit cell, and that unit cell is non-unique. Depending upon their translational vector, unit cell are not unique. Now finally let us understand the primitive and non-primitive unit cell. The primitive unit cell are the cell in which lattice points are present only at the corners of the cell. So in this diagram you will able to understand the left hand diagram are having the cell in which lattice points are present only and only at the corner. So the left hand side diagram are said to be as primitive unit cell, while the right hand side diagram is having atoms or lattice points at the corner as well as other than at the corner. The upper one diagram is having lattice point inside, while the lower diagram is having lattice point on the edge as well. So therefore, right hand side diagram are non-primitive unit cell, while left hand side are having the primitive unit cell. So thank you.